December 8th, 2021. I was just sitting on my bed, looking around on my phone, when all of a sudden I got a notification. It had said that Jillian and Addie had uploaded a new video. Now, I was very extremely confused because this was on a Wednesday, and Jillian and Addie never upload on Wednesdays. They always upload on Fridays. But I was wondering, maybe they said that they had a special video coming out and I just missed it or something. So I clicked on the notification and I thought it was going to be some kind of Christmas video. But when I looked at it, the title said Jillian's Rampage. And the thumbnail was Jillian, but she was standing in the dark. And you can barely make out any features. I was very confused, and I thought maybe my YouTube was glitching, but this has never happened before. So I just decided to click on the video because, well, I don't know, I was bored, and I love Jillian and Addie. So I clicked on the video, and when the video started, it was in very bad quality. Like, I put the quality like super duper high, like the highest it gets, but the video was still in bad quality. So I didn't know if like this was supposed to be a joke or I was just beyond confused. Anyway, the video started off what appeared to be in a classroom. And not like a fake one, like an actual classroom, like a real like classroom, like a building in a classroom. And once again, I was confused because Jillian and Addie videos have never started off like this. They always start off in Jillian and Addie's house. So that's why I kept on thinking, is this like some kind of joke or something? But, of course, I kept on watching. But anyway, so basically, it was a classroom full of kids, and one of the kids had their face down on the desk. And the kid looked like Jillian, but I couldn't tell because the video's quality was so bad. Anyway, who I guess was the teacher standing at the board, is talking and saying something when the teacher starts to yell at Jillian. Jillian immediately jumps up and asks what's going on, and the teacher tells Jillian to answer a question. And then, I can't tell what Jillian says, but Jillian gets the question wrong and the teacher starts to get upset. And she tells Jillian that she needs to stop sleeping in class. But Jillian just goes back to sleep. Anyway, then the teacher calls Jillian up to the board to answer another question. And then Jillian goes up to the board, and of course she can't answer the question because she was sleeping. And then the teacher starts to get upset, and she tells Jillian that she's failing class, and she's very upset with her. When all of a sudden, the screen started to, glitch all of a sudden. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't make out anything. Then all of a sudden, it came back, but it wasn't normal. Jillian was staring into the camera, but her eyes were bleeding. Or at least it looked like they were. Obviously, I started to get creeped out because, well, there was this weird sound in the background, and I was alone in the room, so I just didn't like it. Anyway, then all of a sudden, the scene pans out, and you see Jillian standing in the classroom holding a baseball bat. But for some reason, it's still glitching, and now the video is playing upside down, and then it's playing in reverse, and I can't tell what's going on. Anyway, then the teacher begins to yell at Jillian again, and Jillian raises the bat, and then the camera goes back to being black again. Then it stays black for a while, and once again, I can't see anything. And I'm starting to get annoyed. I'm starting to think maybe my internet's bad, but it's not. It's just part of the video. Then, the video comes back, but Jillian is just staring into the camera. And there's nothing. There's no sound, there's no music, there's nothing. It's just Jillian staring into the camera. Now, this went on for about 2 minutes, and, I was starting to get bored, but I kept on watching, At first I thought the video was over, but, nothing was really happening. Well, at least not yet. Anyway, after 2 minutes of Jillian just staring at the screen, all of a sudden Jillian's dad walks into the room, and that's when I realized that we're not in a classroom anymore. Now we're actually in their house. Anyway, Jillian's dad walks into the room and sees Jillian. And Jillian is holding the bat, but the bat looks bloody. And this is where I really started to get creeped out. Anyway, Jillian's dad says Jillian, but no response. He says Jillian again, but still no response. Then we get a POV shot of what Jillian sees, and it's just the wall. Anyway, so Jillian's dad goes up to her, and he goes to put his hand on her shoulder, but that's when she turns around, and this loud screaming sound played in my ear for some reason. And then it cuts to Jillian's dad on the ground covered in blood. And the thing was, it wasn't just like fake ketchup or something. This looked like actual blood. I don't know why, but it did. Anyway, it cut to Jillian standing there holding the bat. Now the bat looked even more bloody. And she was just standing there, not moving again. But this time we didn't have to sit through 2 minutes of it because eventually she walks away. Anyway, then it abruptly cuts to Addie standing in the hallway going, "Jillian, where are you?" But there's obviously no response. So the next 2.5 minutes is just Addie looking for Jillian, but obviously there's no response. But Jillian's definitely in the house. Anyway, eventually Addie does bump into Jillian, but Jillian's just standing in the hallway holding the bat. Addie thinks Jillian's messing with her, so she goes up to Jillian. But when she puts her hand on Jillian's shoulder, Jillian turns around and her eyes are bloody again. And then, obviously, Addie gets scared and runs away. But Jillian just continues to follow Addie around. So Addie tries to hide in her room, but Jillian stands outside the door making weird noises. And Addie tells Jillian to stop, and then Jillian does. Then Jillian walks away. And then it was silent. Addie stepped out of the room and looked down the hallway, and she didn't see Jillian. So she walks into the living room, but then when she gets in there, she doesn't see her dad's body, which doesn't make sense because it should be laying there because Jillian hit him with the bat earlier. But the body's missing now. There's not even any blood on the floor anymore. Anyway, Addie walks into the room, and then she hears very violent footsteps coming from behind her. So obviously she gets scared and runs into a corner. And then Jillian comes in the room, and she's walking, or I guess running, extremely fast. And she runs right up to Addie, and there's, once again, a loud scream, and then it cuts to black. Then we get a shot of the couch outside in the living room, and Addie's body's laying by the fireplace. But she's not bleeding. She's just kind of laying there. Then it cuts to Jillian standing right next to Addie's body, and she's smiling. So she seems to be proud of what she just caused. After that, Jillian just begins to walk down the hallway of the house and kind of just walking around the house. I don't really know. Then we hear a phone ring, and I swear the phone ringing was so loud that I almost had a heart attack. I'm not kidding. I don't know why the ringing was so loud. Anyway, her phone rings and she answers it. And then all of a sudden the audio cuts out. I don't know why, but it just did. Anyway, the audio cuts out, and Jillian's talking on the phone with someone, but I don't know who it was. Then Jillian smiles and hangs up the phone. Then the audio comes back, and we see a car pulling up in the driveway. And then, after that, someone gets out of the car, but I couldn't tell who it was because the scene kept cutting back and forth, and I just couldn't see who it was. And then it went to black one more time, and there was the sound of a knife being pulled out, and then a scream, and the video ended. There wasn't even a merch outro, which was very weird. There wasn't even any kind of outro, which is very, very, very unlike them. They always do an outro at the end. So obviously, I turned off my phone, And I didn't know what to think. I couldn't believe they just uploaded a video like that. Anyway, then I went back to the channel because I was gonna make a video about the one I just watched. But then the video was gone. It wasn't on their channel anymore. So they either deleted it or YouTube took it down. Either way, I'm actually glad that the video got taken down because, well, yeah, it was extremely violent. And the thing is, when I was watching the video, I noticed that the views didn't go up at all. So that makes me think I was the only one that saw this video. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Well, I guess I'll see you all in the next video. That was the Jillian's Rampage story, re-narrated. And I'll see you in the next... I already said that. Well, I'll see you all in the next video. And remember, don't take life seriously. Goodbye.